Balance, Barbarians, and Bull.
Shit.
Before we get started, I'd like to publicly thank Senator Clay Davis for his contributions to this video. Hello everyone and welcome. As the title suggests, today's video is about something I talk about even less than Flavor of the Week builds. I'm talking about character balance in Dark and Darker. I've been playing this game for the better part of 2 years, and with each passing week I care a little bit less about individual class balance. This is partially due to the fact that I'm generally okay with classes going through phases of being on top, and cycles where other classes are relegated to the bottom. From a design perspective, I'm also fine with rock, paper, scissors class design, where a given class can rarely, if ever, overcome its hard counter. I also play in solos, duos, and trios, and I can play a majority of the classes in this game, and roles, to my own satisfaction, if not to your definition of competence. Also, it's increasingly difficult to raise an alarm about a real balance issue in Dark and Darker, thanks in a large part to the clickbaiting content creators calling something different broken in each video that they upload. Firstly, Iron Mace needs to accept that whatever internal testing they're doing, if any, is not sufficient to prevent them from regularly breaking the game, or really effectively balancing it. Now, in the past, they have said that or hinted at the fact that they are collecting data which helps inform them about when balance changes are needed for a given class, but this, dear viewer, is
Shit.
If you accept that they are collecting data about win or loss rates, extraction percentages, group composition, class or champion pick rates, why would they then not choose to publish that data? Or at least be transparent about which metrics they're measuring in explanation of balance changes? The truth is this: the only data that they're collecting is when the dev team watch a few of their favorite streamers and listen to an accumulation of complaints strong enough to get them to interrogate a given balance issue. We have not seen any real metrics for this game since December of 2023, when Terry shared portions of what was clearly an investor-focused metrics deck. Which leads me to my second point. If Iron Mace wants to stop playing whack-a-mole with their approach to class balance, they need to design a process for measuring the imbalance in the game and the class dynamics to manage towards balance. This will include more real work than the casual Kentucky windage they engage in now. You will need to create a system of measurements to inform and alert on balance issues. As a quick aside, when 50% of a given solo lobby is playing a single class, that's a great indicator that something needs looking at. You then need to deliberately increment either upwards or downwards on powers and abilities while making observations and taking measurements towards whatever balance change you'd like to see. Bonus points if you're able to be transparent with how effective your balance changes are impacting those metrics. Also great if you design that process with points for public feedback from your player base. What we have now is quite the opposite of a process. Increasing the effectiveness of a class's ability by 200% in a single pass is what we in the Western world call throwing things against the wall and seeing what sticks. We also call it bull.
Shit.
But why does it always seem like it's Barbarian horribly breaking the game, Koopa? Well, longtime viewer, that's a great question. Here's the sad truth. The problem with Barbarians in Dark and Darker is that the class is fundamentally unbalanceable. It's their core kit. It's got the highest hit points of any character in the game, top tier speed and movement abilities, the most reliable crowd control in the game, high damage output, and, increasingly, great sustain and self-healing. The truth is, all things being equal, when you make a single positioning error against a Barbarian, you'll lose that fight. Now, I don't want to disrespect high-skill Barbarian players out there, but losing to a Barbarian often feels cheap. Nor am I demeaning them when I say that the Barbarian is simply the easiest class to play right now. Skinny Pete and his disciples are amazing at the game. They have a 300 level understanding of the game's central skill expression, positioning. I can't summarize the underlying issue any better than a commenter did in one of my recent videos. So I'm going to pause here, take it away, Themsy Twisty 1710. The reality right now is the same thing it's been for the past 2 years. When the Barbarian is weak, it's largely unplayed. And when it is strong, it is the only viable frontliner who is played. It's not a matter of degrees, it's a matter of design. Both of the Barbarian's kit and the underpinnings of the game's overall PvP framework. The solution to all these problems is hard work. It requires crafting mature design processes, the collection of metrics, data-driven decision-making, robust testing, and the solicitation and reconciliation of player feedback. If you don't like the way things are, but you think the team at Iron Mace will eventually get us there, well, roll up your Barbarian, hold down the W key, and try and find your fun where you can. If, on the other hand, you don't think the current approach of throwing things against the wall and seeing what sticks will work, you can find a link in the video description below to an online petition which calls for Terry to take over the lead game designer role at Iron Mace, at least until a qualified and experienced candidate can be found. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a like. It helps me a ton. And until next time, Koopa out.
Magic damage reduction, max
Players.
Oh wow?
Player.